resetting your inner threshold. Your inner threshold for stress or for handling these energetic ups and downs and squeezes and intensities that we're going through. I'm getting these messages around reminding you that whereas before, maybe before this time, before this year, before this time of our full integrations into our higher selves in the physical body, it was fine to operate sort of on the physical plane only. It was fine to have certain expectations of yourself or allow certain things to be put on you that were of the earthly, of a physical nature. Like, for example, maybe it worked for you to expect yourself to push through a certain amount of stress with work or with family or just, with adult life, and to just kind of deal with it, to just kind of go, well, I'm fine. People push through. They used to have commercials about, taking a headache medicine and saying, I don't have time for the pain, and just sort of moving through on the physical plane and saying, that's life. Well, it's not going to work like that anymore. And the reason that's not going to work anymore for us as humans is because we are no longer functioning on just the physical plane. We are now physical integrations of 3D, 4D, and 5D energy. It's not important that we get into, all the technicalities of that, although we can in another time. But what's important is that you realize that we are now in a time, everyone is in a time, of living in a physical sense where we can touch and feel and see it all, but living this higher spiritual existence in a very concrete way, but it's still energetic. It's still energy. Okay, so you cannot expect yourself to go around, or I would say you can, but it'd be very difficult to expect yourself to go around just doing the regular human stuff and not treating yourself and caring for yourself as that spiritual aspect of yourself much more than in the past. Okay. So that's going to be a shift that everyone experiences this year as we move into 2021 more. And that's going to be, you're going to look around and notice, wow, everyone needs extra care. Everyone needs extra healing. More people may be, taking some time for themselves. You may notice more people sort of having like a personal health day or taking a little retreat, because it is going to be so important to, Spirit is moving that care for yourself and that attention to your spiritual beingness to the top of your list. Mm-hmm. Whereas that used to be something that, we as human beings could kind of allow to be bumped on down. And sure, if you have time, it'll be great to take good care of yourself and to go do some yoga or do something spiritual. That's a nice extra. Not anymore. It's like the food pyramid getting flipped, when that happened. When it's like all the stuff we thought were the most nutritious, turns out those are the least nutritious, and flip-flop. It's happening that way with our energetic needs, with our self-care needs, with what is important as far as being a human being on this planet and taking good care of yourself and being able to even just function. It's not even a matter of taking good care of yourself in a luxurious way. It's a matter of just even being able to function. Okay. So what you're going to notice now is, first, it will be important to, at some point, clear the decks and reset your stress threshold, your threshold for coping, for dealing with what's going on. It's first important to say, all right, it is not going to work anymore for me to just expect myself to push through. It is not going to work anymore for me to just expect myself to take on and take on. And it's not going to work for me to expect myself or allow others to expect me to not show the stress I'm under or, the things I'm going through emotionally. They're going to show, and that's fine. That's the being vulnerable part of this journey that's so important. So first, it's going to be an acknowledging. Yeah, this is real. Everyone's going through this, whether they're showing it or not. Everyone is going through this spiritual refinement, this integration of ourselves on all levels, physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional. Everyone's going to be dealing with it in different ways. And those who actually make it a priority will have a smoother time. You'll notice that more and more and more as this year continues, that the more attention you are paying to these things, the more you are tuning in to what your body is telling you, to what your heart needs, and the more attention you're paying to what your mind is doing, so you can get that mind into focus, into attunement, into calmness, the more you're going to have a smoother experience of what happens in your life and on the planet for the rest of this year and then beyond. Okay, so clearing the decks, what does that mean? Clearing the decks means taking time for you in a very serious way, where it does not have to be a crisis, but you're going to say, actually, pre-crisis, hopefully, I'm going to take some time, whether it's a whole weekend, whether it's a whole day, whether it's just an entire evening, whatever makes sense for you, and doing this regularly, to absolutely clear the decks. I'm not engaging with anything electronic or online or with anyone else in this way. I am not entertaining myself. I'm, going to just spend time. It doesn't mean you have to close yourself in a quiet room and just, stare at a wall. But I'm going to spend time just marinating my own energies with spirit and allowing what to flow in and out, what needs to flow in and out, to flow in and out. Whether that's feeling feelings and letting them be released, receiving guidance and information through meditation that Spirit's waiting to give you. Whatever needs to happen, but it cannot happen as easily when the blockages are there of constant engagement with other people, constant input of entertainment and distraction, constant sort of distraction from what it is that we're intended to feel and hear, in whatever way that happens. So there needs to be some time intentionally cleared out and set aside for that for you. I'm giving you permission right now to do it. I know we're conditioned to think that's a really indulgent and irresponsible thing to do. It's actually the opposite. It's actually a show of faith and investment in the divine, in ourselves. It is actually a sacrifice, sort of like when you give up, something as a show of sacrifice and faith and devotion. It's like that because you're giving up those things that the ego wants for the sake of what the spirit needs and what the heart needs. So if your mind says that's too indulgent, that's what you're going to counter that with. No, this is actually a sacrifice. This is actually a show of faith. This is actually an investment. When you do this, first you'll notice the first time you do it after watching this, you will feel reset, refreshed. You will feel, it can be any amount of time you feel is right for you. And, don't be too aggressive. You want to be gentle with yourself. So whatever amount of time feels reasonable and feels like it's going to work for you and with what you need. But be a little bit, you want this to be something where you are focusing and putting effort into yourself and into your practice. If you need guidance and support in this, just let me know. Then when you come back from this, you will notice your threshold has been reset, and now you're able to respond and interact with what's going on in your inner journey and in your outer world from a much more centered place with much more balance. So this can be a once a week or once every few days type of process, this clearing of the decks. Then as a companion to that, or as the daily practice with that, working in some time every day, and that can be as little as 10 minutes, as much as an hour or more, but just some time every day where you are intentionally just spending time getting into the flow with yourself and with spirit in whatever way that works for you, whether it's meditation, whether it's dancing, taking a bath, spending some time with your crystals, whatever it is that works for you, but not from a mind place of I'm doing this, I'm connecting, but from a place of this is what I need. This is nurturing for me. I am placing myself at the top of that priority list, and my connection with spirit is the most important thing. Just like you do with food, you know, you will feed and nurture your body first. You will get water first. You'll do those things that your body needs because your body makes them a priority. Well, now your spirit body is making things a priority for you. So look at it just like that. Just like I need to sleep, I need to eat, I need to get water. Well, you also need now to take this time. You need to create an environment that's nurturing, that is balanced within yourself, no matter what the external looks like, that provides you that place of peace to be able to come into connection so that you can go about your day. You would expect if you went into your day without eating, without drinking, and without sleeping, that you would have a very hard time that day, right, in the physical world. Well, now it's the same with your spiritual attention. I would say practice, but I don't want to make it sound like work. You know, with your spiritual intention and attention and effort on yourself. When you're putting that in every day in whatever way you are, when you're clearing the decks at least once a week, and when you are making the space and the room to maneuver all of the energetic challenges you're going through, all of the spirit growth and expansion and ascension things you're being challenged with, all of the inner healing you might be doing, when you're making space for that, when you're making a friendly environment for that, when you're supporting yourself energetically with that in a very real way, you will notice it being smoother. You will notice yourself having an easier time. It still will be challenging, but you will notice that shift. Okay. So I hope this is helpful to you. I hope that you will let me know how you're doing. And if you need any support in this, just let me know. I'm always here to support you on your journey, on your path. And it's a joy and an honor. Thank you. See you soon. Connect with you soon.